The Kevin AC article, this one dropped before Padres Giants, the series finale on Wednesday. And it went into the relationship between Bob Melvin and AJ Preller. This is some of this stuff, not new information. We already knew that the relationship, it's not great. And there's a player in the Athletic piece a couple weeks ago, whenever that was. I'm losing track of time here. Unfixable is what one player said of this relationship. And then in this article, the relationship is described as civil war from someone. So, yeah, not great. I first wanted to hit on Peter Seidler here. Peter Seidler is said to prefer both Bob Melvin and AJ Preller to remain with the Padres in 2024. There's going to be a meeting after this Padres season has concluded. So on Sunday, after the Padres come home, after facing the Chicago White Sox, in this article, it says that the meeting is going to be in the 24 hours after Sunday's season finale. Season finale, obviously, in Chicago, Guaranteed Rate Field or whatever the heck they called that stadium now. And they're probably going to be playing in front of like 50 people. So that meeting, who's going to be in that meeting? Peter Seidler, obviously, he is dealing with some health issues right now. Just had the medical procedure, so it doesn't seem like he's going to be in the meeting. Maybe he's going to zoom into it. I don't know. Wishing the best, obviously, to Mr. Seidler. That is what is most important here. But in this article, it says Bob Melvin, obviously, AJ Preller, Eric Grubner, and at least one member of Seidler Equity Partners. Now, I have no idea what Seidler Equity Partners is. I could probably look it up, but I haven't done that deep research on it. Sorry, I'm just a Padres fan. I don't have my pom-poms or anything for Seidler Equity Partners, but that's where I think he's gotten a lot of the money for the Padres. It's not from the Padres. And that's how it is with a bunch of owners, right? If they don't get a bunch of the money, mostly from the baseball team, and before they buy the baseball team, obviously they have to get the money from somewhere, and it's not baseball because they don't own the team yet. But someone from Seidler Equity Partners, Eric Grubner, Melvin, and Preller. So that question to me is like, or the question that comes from that meeting happening probably on Monday morning, maybe, I would think, when the Padres are back. They can get a good night rest, and then Bomel can ride into Petco Park, and they can go meet in Eric Grubner's office or wherever they're going to meet. The question here is, who is making these decisions here? AJ Preller's going to make it? I mean, AJ Preller's job is still up in the air, according to reports here. That has not been decided yet. He could be fired. Bob Melvin could be fired. Both could be fired. Neither could be fired. All of those things, it seems like, is on the table here. Is Eric Grubner making decisions? I mean, he was just on 97.3 The Fan last Friday on Ben and Woods, like, criticizing AJ Preller's roster and about we need more young and hungry players and all that, depth. And that's the CEO of the Padres. AJ Preller doesn't report to Eric Grubner, as far as I know. AJ Preller reports to one guy, Peter Seidler. So is Eric Grubner taking over the Peter Seidler role as Peter Seidler is away from the team? So that's why Grubner's involved in this. Is Grubner just going to be like reporting back to Peter Seidler? How is this going to work? I think Peter Seidler should be at least zooming into this meeting because, I mean, I want him making the decision. Eric Grubner, I know he's been in the organization for a long time, but I want Peter Seidler, the actual chairman of the team, I want him making the final decision on this, not Eric Grubner. Eric Grubner can have a say, but like, what's the tiers here? Is it Bob Melvin, AJ Preller, Eric Grubner, and then Peter Seidler? Is Eric Grubner on the same level as AJ Preller? But Grubner is just elevated a little bit because Seidler is not there. Like, why is Grubner staying? Well, I understand why Grubner's staying, like the business and all that. But it feels like Grubner's having an influential voice here with these decisions, which is interesting because he's the Padres CEO. This reminds me of the Red Sox situation with Sam Kennedy. And I was listening to Darren Smith on the radio, San Diego Sports 760, and he mentioned how it seems like Eric Grubner is going to be the one to run the end of season press conference with Peter Seidler, obviously, probably unable to do so with what he is dealing with. I have heard some things, but I'm not going to comment on what I have heard with what's going on because I'm just not going to do it out of respect of everyone. Not going to do it. But Grubner taking over, it seems like he's the head guy here while Seidler is away because we know that Grubner is going to stay, and it seems like Preller that's more up in the air. And is Melvin and Melvin and Preller, their futures, they're going to be decided here based on this one meeting. So they're all going to go in there, and what's going to happen? Who's going to speak first? Is Preller just going to start yelling at Bomel and be like, I disagree with you about all this stuff? Is Melvin going to start yelling at Preller and be like, you need to let me manage. I hate when you do this. I hate about this about you. And they just air it out and they just go blow after blow after blow back and forth with Eric Grubner just sitting there and the one dude from Seidler Equity Partners just sitting there listening to them just yell at each other, get the anger out, and then maybe they can come to a resolution. What if during this meeting on Sunday night or Monday morning at Petco Park, what if AJ Preller and Bob Melvin, they don't agree? What if AJ is like, no, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And Bob Melvin's like, well, I don't like the way you're running things. Let me do my job. You make the roster. I run everything else. Okay. So, like, do your job. Let me do my job. What if they don't agree? And what happens then? Bob Melvin are both fired? Is Eric Grubner going to sit there and like, all right, you babies, you guys can't cooperate with each other, so both of you are gone? Or is he going to sit there and be like, well, you're not on the same page, so I'm going to pick one? And I feel like he'd pick Bob Melvin. I mean, he's being critical of AJ Preller on the radio. So I think he would pick Bob Melvin. But what does Peter Seidler have to say about this? Would he pick Bob Melvin or would he pick the guy that he called excellence in July earlier this season? I mean, he did say in that article to Kevin Acee, in that interview, that Eric Grubner and AJ Preller are going nowhere. He didn't say that about Bob Melvin. So does Grubner want Bomel over Preller? Does Seidler want Preller over Bomel? What's going to happen there? Seidler should overrule Grubner because he's the chairman of the team. But, like, I just don't know what's going to happen at that meeting. And what is that other one, at least one member of Seidler Equity Partners there? What is he going to say? It's going to be interesting. So hopefully we hear some news that comes out of this meeting. I don't know if it's going to be at Petco Park, but I'm just assuming that it is. Is it going to be on Monday? Is it going to be on Sunday night? Hopefully we hear something on Monday night, maybe Tuesday morning. I'm sure Dennis Lin, Kevin Acee, Ken Rosenthal, they're going to be all over this. So I would think we'd hear something coming out of this on Monday night. I'm hoping. And we can actually get some direction. Maybe a decision's not going to be made on Monday, but maybe we'll hear like how the meeting went. Did it go over well? Did someone's messaging go over well with the other person? Vice versa? Were they able to agree on some things? Like, because I think Bomel, some of the stuff that's coming out here, like some people in the front office think that Bomel is being a little bit stubborn and balking at some of their ideas. And obviously AJ Preller with the roster construction, and he really wanted Matt Carpenter to stay. He really advocated for that. Lack of flexibility given to Bob Melvin at times with the roster. Obviously talking to coaches, at least according to The Athletic, going behind Bob Melvin's back, it seems like, and talking to coaches and having stuff implemented beyond like Bob Melvin's approval is what it seems like. Micromanaging. It seems like there's fault on both sides. It just feels like there's way more fault on AJ Preller's side. So are both guys going to be able to sit in the room together with Eric Grubner there or whatever and be like, yep, I have made some mistakes. There are some places that I need to improve, but I am willing to improve because I think we have the talent, we have the team to go win the World Series next year. And I have one more year on my contract, so I don't want to let the guys down. And I think for 1 year we can work together. Do you want to win a World Series? You will be a legend in this city if you're able to win a World Series as the GM, president of baseball ops of this team. Bob might be able to tell AJ that. And AJ would say, you know what? I know I've made some mistakes. I want to win more than anything else. And I think that you're the right guy. You're the only guy for this situation in 2024. Because I don't know if I'll keep my job, one, if I go hire another guy, because that will be his fourth manager, technically, like real manager. You could count Dave Roberts and Rod Barajas and Bud Black, but like manager hiring, right? Like permanent, real manager hiring. I don't know if my boss is going to allow me to do that, and the players respect you. So let's agree to change some things. I will step back a little bit. I will let you do your thing, Bob. And Bob will admit maybe some wrongdoings and some mistakes that he has made, and they can come to an agreement and have this be the last dance. And they'll agree, like, yep, 2024, this is it. We're doing this for the best of the team. This is it. And they can work things out for 2024. If that's what ends up being the solution, I don't think I'm going to be pissed off about that. Because it will be Bob Melvin managing this team, which is what I want at the end of the day. And I think it's probably best for AJ Preller to not be the president of baseball ops and be the GM. I don't think that's the best thing. I think he's had plenty of opportunities. But if they don't have success next year, then he's gone. At least I hope. And Bob Melvin, he's gone either way after next season, let's say, if that's what the agreement is, because he's under contract only through 2024. So I don't think that's the worst thing for both guys to come to an agreement. Now, will that happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That is the big question. Because if they can't agree, it seems like one of them is going to go. And we don't know who that is, but it seems like one of them is going to go if they can't have a good meeting when the Padres finish up their season.